Let me show you the best apple cake recipe ever. It uses no flour but loads of apples. This cake tastes amazing. It is sweet, warm, and perfectly moist, and it smells absolutely wonderful while baking. I make it whenever I want to treat myself to something special. To make this flourless apple cake, start by peeling about 8 apples. I like to use Granny Smith or Golden Delicious apples for this recipe. Granny Smiths give a nice tangy flavor that cuts through the sweetness, while Golden Delicious apples have a softer, honey-like taste. But you can use any apples you have in your kitchen. I have made this cake with Fuji and Gala apples too, and it always turns out delicious. Once the apples are peeled, cut them into thin slices, just like this. Next, add the juice from 1 lemon onto your apple slices and mix them up. This keeps the apples from turning brown. The lemon adds a little bit of tartness that balances the sweetness of the cake really nicely. Just mix everything with a spoon until all the apple pieces are covered with lemon juice. Next, take 5 eggs and separate the whites from the yolks. Put the whites in one bowl and the yolks in another. Make sure no yolk gets into the whites or they will not beat up properly. You can crack each egg and pass the yolk back and forth between the shell halves while the white falls into the bowl. Even a tiny bit of yolk can prevent the whites from getting fluffy, so be careful with this step. Next, in a separate bowl, add 125 grams of softened butter. That is about 2/3 cup if you do not have a scale. Start beating it with an electric mixer and then gradually add 160 grams of sugar, which is about 3/4 cup. Keep beating until the mixture becomes light and fluffy. This usually takes about 3 minutes. The color will change from yellow to almost white, as you can see in the video here. Next, add the vanilla extract and give the butter mixture another quick beat to combine everything. You need about a teaspoon of vanilla, but I sometimes add a little extra because I love the flavor. Now, add the lemon zest to your butter mixture. Make sure you only grate the yellow outer part and not the white bitter part underneath. The zest adds a fresh flavor that makes the cake taste better. When all the zest is added, mix it in well until everything is combined. Next, add the egg yolks we separated earlier to your butter mixture. Mix until everything is well combined. The egg yolks make the cake rich and help bind all the ingredients together since we are not using flour. Next, add the quark to your butter and egg mixture. You need about 500 grams, which is a little over 2 cups. If you cannot find quark, cottage cheese, cream cheese, or thick, full-fat Greek yogurt works well too. Next, add the semolina to the cake batter. You need about 100 grams, which is around 2/3 cup. Mix it in well until you can no longer see any dry spots. The batter will become thicker at this point, but still remain quite pourable, as you can see in the video here. Next, add your apples to the batter. Fold them in gently with a spatula rather than beating with an electric mixer. Make sure all the apples are evenly distributed throughout the batter. Next, beat the egg whites with a pinch of salt until they form stiff peaks. Start slow with your mixer and gradually speed up. The whites are ready when they look glossy and hold their shape when you lift the beaters. Now, add the beaten egg whites to your cake batter. Do this gently by folding them in with a spatula. Just fold until you do not see big white streaks anymore. Just be careful not to overmix, or you will lose all the air that we just worked to create. Next, prepare your baking pan. Use a 26cm springform pan, which is about 10 inches across. Line the bottom with parchment paper and grease the sides with a little butter. This prevents the cake from sticking and makes it much easier to remove after baking. Pour your batter into the prepared pan and smooth the top with a spatula to make it even. Bake the apple cake in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 60 minutes. The cake is done when a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean and your kitchen smells absolutely amazing.
Yum!
The cake is soft and so moist. It has a sweet, rich apple flavor with a hint of lemon freshness. The texture is somewhere between a traditional cake and a custard tart, and it's so tender when you bite into it. You can see and taste the apple pieces throughout the cake, which makes each bite delicious. If you like cakes with lots of apples, then you should definitely try this moist apple loaf cake recipe here. Perfect for apple season when you have extra apples that need using up. Check it out now!